So today we are going to look at iteration statements. Iteration statements, sometimes called looping statements. These are used to repeat tasks, okay? Or they used to execute statements repeatedly. Execute statements repeatedly, okay? Yeah, so those are iteration statements. For selection statements that we looked at last week, for them they're about decision making. They used to make decisions, but these ones they help us in executing statements repeatedly. Examples: we have for loop, we have a while loop, we have a do while loop, and then a for each kind of loop, okay? For each loop. Now we will start with a for loop. Now for a for loop, the syntax: use for, then initialization, then initialization. Next is condition, then increment stroke decrement, then here you put the body of the loop. That's basically what a loop, the syntax of the for loop has, how it is. So assume we are going to look at an example of the for loop. Example of the for loop. Assume we want to print natural numbers from 1 to 10. So for a for loop, we shall follow the syntax. We shall say for. We initialize, okay? So here it's like we're going to, iterate like the number of times. You can even say counter, okay? Start from 0, then we say counter less than 10 as the condition. The reason as why we are saying less than 10, because we've started from 0, so 0 is going to be included. Then we say counter plus plus. But if we don't want to start from 0, then you can start from 1. Or we can even change, instead of using a counter, since we are not doing with arrays, maybe the best variable would be number, okay? Number or num, okay? Then in this case, after you've done this, so we start from 1 up to 10. If you want to include 10, of course you put less or equal. So this one is initialization. Please, this is not supposed to be a comma, this is semicolon, okay? So you put initialization, then condition, and then increment or decrement. In this case, we are incrementing because we are from 1 to 10, so we are increasing, or we are adding numbers. And of course, here the next is to do a printout, or you print the numbers. System.out.print, then you put your numbers. In this case, if I want, I can say print, and I say numbers, okay? Put something like this, and so once we execute, then we should have our numbers from 1 to 10 for loop, okay? So you see that a loop is repeating statements, it's repeating statements in a sense that it is moving from 1 to 10. It keeps moving, it adds 1. So what happens is that this is like a initialization. You're saying num is going to start from 1, but I want you to stop when num is less than 10. Then what do we need to do? You need to keep incrementing by 1. Num plus means num plus 1, so it is going to keep incrementing by 1 until it reaches 10 and starting from 1. So that's the basic example of a for loop. Next we can look at a while loop. Now a while loop, for it the syntax is first you do the initialization. You first initialize before anything, but let me go straight to this. You put while condition, then you put body, okay, what is going to be executed repeatedly, and then you put increment stroke decrement, and then you close, okay. And of course you have to first initialize. So that's a while loop. Normally some people will ignore this, they just do this as the syntax, okay, as the body of, but of course you remember that you don't have to forget increment or decrement. So now what if we want to print maybe numbers from maybe 10 to let me see, from 10 to 1. So in that case we are going to be decrementing. Yeah, it's there, we'll be doing a decrement. So what do? We first initialize maybe int x, we can call it x10, then we use while x is now greater or equal to 1, okay. So we are starting from 10. The condition won't stop when it is greater or equal to 1. Then we print system.out.print line. No, I don't need to print line. I can say x plus this. Then we have to inside, remember I said you do an increment or decrement. In this case we're going to be decrementing. So here we shall be printing numbers from 10 to 1, okay. The x starts from 10, then we are saying if it is greater or equal to 1 until it is greater or equal to 1, then we print x, and then we decrement, of course. Why are we decrementing? Because we are moving from 10 to 1. So you can see it's 10 to 1, but here I can first do so that we separate. I can first do this so that we put this one goes down, okay. So if we do this, we will have this one printed on the next line, the next sequence, which is 10 to 1. So you can see for I used a for loop to move from 1 to 10. Then I use the a while loop to move from 10 to 1. So that's a basic example of a a what? Of a while loop, okay. So for the while loop now, if I hope you notice the difference. This is the for loop, condition, initialization, condition, and then iteration or increment or decrement. And then here you first initialize, then you put the while brackets condition, which is this, then the body. If don't forget this, because if you forget this one, you will have what we call an infinite loop, okay, where the program runs without stopping, okay, without stopping. So it's important that you do not forget the decrement. So always make sure that you include that, otherwise you will have an infinite. So that's a basic example of a while loop. Next we can look at a do while. Do while. So a do while, the syntax goes by do, then the body, okay. Then the do while, for it, the difference between a do while and a while is that a do while tests the condition after printing, or after, no, not in social printing, after executing the body at least once. It do whatever you're going to execute, then while. So it checks the condition last, essentially. While the while, if that is a common question, what's the difference between a while loop and a do while? So a while loop tests the condition first before executing the body, while for a do while, it first executes, then tests the condition last, meaning that a do while is likely to execute at least once, while there's a chance that a while loop may not execute at all. But it is guaranteed for a do while to execute at least once. Why? Because it first executes before testing the condition. While a while loop, it tests the condition first before executing anything. By this one, it first executes the body and then tests the condition. So that's the difference. I know you likely to be asked that question maybe in your exam. So we can do a do while that maybe prints, or that repeats maybe a statement. Can say do maybe hello world. Assume we want to print hello world 5 times. Hello world, okay. Then don't forget to initialize. We can say int maybe I equals 0. This is going to be our counter. You can, in this case, we can say counter. Then we say here inside the body, don't forget to increment or decrement, because you're dealing with then while, okay, counter is less or equal to 5. No, less than 5, because I want to print it 5 times. If you start from 0, then you don't need to include 5. So I will print hello world, okay, 5 times, starting from 0. Then do, I'm saying, following the syntax, do print hello world, then you increment, because we want from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 4, because that is the last index. Then while counter, the condition is while counter is less than 5. So here we expect to have hello world 5 times. Hello will be printed 5 times, and yeah, I hope you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can put the other check so that our hello world starts from what? Starts from not in the same line with these numbers. So I can do that statement. I can use that statement to make sure I have a new line before hello world statements. Okay, so if you look at this, we have now how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so that's a basic example of a do while. Lastly, we have what we call a for each statement, but it's not necessarily a for each. It's so like a simplified for. So you say for, okay, then your declaration, okay, then you put a correction or a list that you want to iterate. Then you can go ahead and put the body, okay, the body of the statement. Okay, so you have for declaration, then list, and then the body. Okay, that's what we call a for each in Java. It's not like a for each that in JavaScript there is a real for each, and I think even a C# has for each, but here it's a for, but we call it a for each because of how because of its syntax. Now assume we have a list like an array, I hope you guys know how to declare arrays. I don't know if we haven't looked at arrays. I had instructed someone to take you through arrays, but I hope they did. So we can say maybe string fruits. So I can declare an array of fruits: apple, orange, mango, what else? Lemon. Okay, these are enough for me. So this is an array of fruits. Okay, then we use the for each statement to iterate through the. We can use the for to iterate through the what? The for each to iterate through our array or the list. So we say for, then in declaration you can say string fruit. In this case it is fruit, not fruits. So my variable in this case is fruit. Then full colon, you put the list, which is our array, fruits. Okay. Then you can print each fruit. Dot print. Then you say fruit. Can print, instead of, I can print them horizontally, and I say concatenate, I put a space there. So if I do this, we shall have these fruits printed on our screen using a for each. This is what we call a for what? For each. It is different from the first for loop. This one you can use any variable. Here I've used fruit, but you can use any variable. You can use x, you can use whatever. So that's why you see we have these fruits printed on our screen: apple, orange, mango, and lemon. So I can still, for example, declare an array for numbers. For Java you start with this numbers, and then you say maybe 10, 20, maybe 50, maybe 15. Okay, if these ones are my numbers, and for example I want to get the sum for these numbers using a for, I will say maybe int num, which is in numbers. Okay, then if I want to get sum, I would first declare sum as 0. Okay, sum as 0, then I come and say sum plus equals number. Okay, which is within this. Then here you can print sum. Okay, system.out.print maybe use printf. Can we just use simplify things? You can say the sum of numbers is, and then I concatenate sum here, then I terminate. So this one is trying to get some of these numbers. This one is what? 80 plus 15 should be 95. So, and we are using a for each, not a for loop. It's a for each. Here whatever is the data type of the list is what you put here as the data type. For example, you see that our list has string values: the apple, the orange. These are strings. So that's why I'm saying string fruit. Here the list has numbers, so that's why I'm saying int num. I'm not saying string, because the list that I have has what? Has numbers. Okay, so if you execute, let me see if I can execute. Yes, it's going to run. Then we shall have the sum of numbers as 95. Okay, yeah, as you can see that the sum of numbers is 95. So these are the loops that we have in Java. So, and these are the examples that we've looked at. Maybe I can just for each of the loops that we've looked at, maybe I can give you one more example and we finish. For a for loop, assume we want to get maybe a list of maybe a list of even numbers from 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. So we've said that for a for, you initialize maybe int n equals 0. Maybe you're starting from 0, then n less or equal to 20, then n plus plus. Okay, Then we want even numbers. How do we get even numbers? If a number is divisible by 2. So n modulus 2, if it is equal to 0, then what we shall do, we shall print that number. And once we do that, we shall have even numbers printed from let me use my statement here. We'll just copy this so that I don't have to type. Want them on a unique line. So after printing the sum for numbers here, you can put yes, then even here can put this. So if I run this, I expect to have even numbers from 0 to 20. Okay. Yes, because I have iterated from 0 to 20 using a for loop. N equals 0, n also equal to 20, n plus plus. Then inside I have a check which is saying n modulus 2, if it is equal to 0, then print the number, which will basically print our numbers from our even numbers from 0 to 20. Okay, what if we use a do while? We can use a do while to get the sum of numbers, maybe from 10 to 20. Okay, or average of numbers, the average. You can try to get average. So yes, we can try to get the average. Now, so how do we do that? No, in this case I want us to first do a while. So we can say int, we shall declare a variable int total equals 0, and then we declare the one that we shall use as a counter, int c equals 0. Then we say while c, we said from 10, okay, from 10 to 20, okay, from 10 to 20. So so we're starting from 10 to 20. Okay, if I want, I can say starting from 10 to 10. So in this case, I'm starting from up, from 20 to 10. I want to get total of numbers from 20 to 10. Yeah, so in that case, we shall decrement. So we shall say total plus equals c. Okay, each number. In this case, our number is c. Then we have to decrement. Okay, c minus minus, because we are starting 20. Then here I'm getting the total as total plus equals 0, so we keep adding the number. Or if I want, we can limit this to say the question can be get the average of odd numbers from 20 to 10. From 20 to 10. So I want to get average of odd numbers from 20 to 10. So that's what I'm saying. The total by default is 0. We are starting from number 20. We are going to check until it is equal to 10, or we don't go beyond 10. Then here, instead of this of adding, we shall only add if the number is an odd number. Okay, how do we do that? If c modulus 2 equals to 1, it means it's an odd number, and then we add. So we shall only add to total if it is true that when a number divided by 2 yields the remainder as 1, because that's an odd number, meaning that in that case we shall be only adding to our total only odd numbers, and then we decrement c minus minus. Okay, then of course average will be equal to total. Now it will be total then divided by how many are they. So we need also to track how many are the numbers. Okay, so here we shall have to declare the counter for numbers, how many they are going to be in number. So we can use a, what variable can we use? total not I just want to get total number. I can say total number. You say total number, okay, or number of total, okay, total number. So in this case, it starts at 0, then every time it checks that and it finds that it's an odd number, then we need to increment it by 1, okay. So you can say total number plus equals 1. So it will keep on adding 1 every time it checks this is an odd number. It increments by 1. It will be like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Then so here, after getting the total, which adds the numbers, then here we shall get we say divide by total number. So there we shall have our average, and say we can print system.out.println, and we say the average of odd numbers from 20 to 10 is, and then we shall concatenate our value avg here, and then we terminate. Maybe just to do a simple math, so I always want to make sure we have the right. So from 20, so 19 is an odd number, 17 is, 15 is, 13 is, 11 is. So those are the odd numbers between 20 and 10. Okay, so if we use our calculator, first of all, how many are they in number? There are 5. So if you get 19 plus 17 plus 15 plus 13 plus 11, you get 75. Then divide by how many are they in number? They are 1, 2, 3, 5. So we get the average as 15. So we expect if we run our code, then let me first do this for proper formatting of my code, or if I want, I think I can put stock n here. Okay, if I run, then we should have average of these numbers as 15. That will confirm that really the code that we've written is correct, and in case it isn't, then will be problem. So you can see that the average is 15. Okay, that the average of odd numbers from 20 to 10 is 15.0, because we made it, we said it's a float, so it has to add a 0, so 15.0. So that's how you can use a while loop. We've used the while loop to get the average of odd numbers, from 20 to 10. We can look at a do while. Which example can I give here? Maybe get, in this case we can get, I don't want to get average because we've done that. Okay, just sum, just do a sum of even numbers from maybe 50 to 80 or 70. Okay, sum of even numbers from 50 to 70. So what do? We do a counter, maybe int k equals 0. In this case we are starting from 50. Okay, then we say do we want to get sum. So we can say int sum equals 0. Okay, sum that starts with an underscore. Then what do? We shall say sum, okay, plus equals k, the number. Okay, but remember, should be even numbers. So we need to do a check that if k modulus 2 equals to 0, that's when you should add. That's when you should keep adding the k to the sum, because we want only sum only even numbers. That's why we have this check. And of course we need to keep iterating k plus plus, since we are moving from 50 to 70. Then we are saying while k is less or equal to 70. Okay, so we are starting from k equals to 50. Sum by default is 0. Yeah, then we first check if the number is even, then we add it to the sum. Then we keep incrementing our number from 50 to, of course we are moving from 50 to 70. The condition stop when it is equal to less or equal to 70. So here we can say system.out.println. We say the sum of even numbers from 50 to 70 is, and then we can concatenate our sum. Okay, something like this. Yeah, so here we've used the do while. So for purposes of checking 70, we have 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, we have 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, and then 70, because we've included the 70, right? So we go back to our calculator. How many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you get 50 plus 52 plus 54 plus 56 plus 58 plus 60 plus 62. This is where lips are important. Imagine you are going to add these numbers. You see how I'm sweating by typing this. I'm wasting time. But that the importance with the good thing with coding, you write your algorithm and get the answer as soon as possible. Then we divide by, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are no, yeah, we don't need to count since we are getting sum. So the sum should be that 660. Okay, so let's run our code and find out if it is really doing that. I'm just doing the computation to make sure that the algorithms that we are writing are correct, and of course I'm not doubting what we are doing, but to be sure, or to show you that indeed what we are doing is right. So you can see that the sum of even numbers from 50 to 70 is 660. So the for loops are very important. Imagine you are told to write the to compute the sum from 150 to this. Would you, and you want to use a calculator, how many days would you spend there? So that's where the loops are very important. Okay, they've been told to get maybe sum of numbers from this to this, or average. Yeah, so that's why programming came to save life, technology. So lastly, I want to give you an example on for each, the other one we used. So assume I want to check if the name of a student is within a specific list. Assume you have your list in the database, it becomes it's an array, and then you want to check if a given name is part of those names. So here you will declare maybe an array for students. Okay, so I have Doreen, I have Conrad, I have what am I doing? This is supposed to be a string. Conrad, then I have Simon, then I have Isaac, I have maybe David. Okay, these names. Okay, then we want to check if maybe Doreen exists in our what? In our list. So you do string search name, the name that we want to search, maybe Doreen. Okay, so what we do, we shall declare a boolean is present. Okay, we want to check if is present. By default it is false. Okay, by default is what? False. So is our for each loop string name in students. Okay, so here the variable for this I'm calling the name it's the name, that is the variable that I will use to iterate through these students. Then I will say if name, you can use a strings in Java have a function. Strings in Java have a function called dot equals. Okay, there is dot equals and then dot equals ignore case. Now dot equals, for it does not treat, like it is not case sensitive. No, anyway, let me explain it this way. If you use dot equals, let me first even put this, then I say search name. Okay, I want to check if the name that is in the list equals to the search name. If you use equals and then our value is Doreen, like this one, small letter, it will be false, because equals, it does not, it is case sensitive. Okay, why dot ignores case? There is what we call ignores case. For it, this one, if we say Doreen is present, even though there is the one that we have in the list starts with capital D. Okay, so in this case I can use this. I say is present will be changed to true, because in this case, once the name in the list dot ignores case is equal to this, if it is equal and it is ignores the case, that means the name is present. Okay, else it will be still absent, or it will not, we will confirm is there. So we can say system.out.println, then we say search, we can write some Ruzungu, we say does search name present in the list, and then we put a question mark. Then here we can concatenate the answer, then we use is present, then we terminate. So we shall say does, for example, Doreen, or is present, so is that the rating is Doreen present in the list? Then is present, it will either be true or false depending. Now since this one is ignores case, then here for example this will be true, because we are ignoring the case. We are saying don't be case sensitive. So for example, it will say is Doreen present in the list, the answer is picked, it has to be true, because we can see that Doreen exists in the list, and we are telling that our check says should ignore case. So you can see is Doreen present in the list, that's why we have true. If we put Darlington, then we expect answer to be false. They will say is Darlington present in the list, then we expect the answer to be false, and that is my expectation, and that will be the answer, of course. So just a minute to compile, and then say is Darlington present in the list, you can see false. Okay, to make it a little bit better, I always want your programs to be very dynamic. We can instantiate the scanner class, we create the object. So we can say scanner input equals new scanner, then bracket system.in, and then we terminate. So instead of this search name, okay, I can put this one here. Then I want to get the name from the keyboard. So the first thing is I'll tell this guy to enter the name to search for. Enter the name to check. Enter the name to find out if it exists in the list. Okay, if I don't want, I can actually remove this, then do this, then I terminate. So instead of hard coding the value, we shall tell the user to get it, to input it. Dot next line, okay, or next would want, okay, yeah, next. Then if we do this, then now we are getting the name from the user. Okay, if I come and put I'll put Simon, but I want to write a Simon that is very funny. Let it compile. Okay, enter. They're telling us enter the name. If I say Simon, I put I put M, I put capital O. Is that O? I put O, capital O, then I put small n. This is Simon, but interestingly, this one has, you know, small, the lowercase of I, but this is capital I. Then this is a small n, this is small n, this is capital O, this is capital O, this is small n, so small o. So you see, because we use the ignore as case, it should bring the answer as true. Okay, that's why you see Simon true, even though the casing is different. So that's what ignores equals ignore case, what it does. If I put someone that does not exist, then we shall have the result as maybe Julian. Then we say false because she does not exist in our list. So you see, this is like a real world example. Sometimes you're building your Java application and you have maybe you have these names returned from the database. So you have to iterate through. You have a checkbox. You have a text field where this person is going to enter the name that they're going to search. And when you start searching their name, you iterate through and find out if they exist in the list. So this information, whatever we're looking at, is very important. So allow me to stop here if you don't have any questions. If there are questions, please ask. If the session was good, you can give a thumbs up. I know, yeah, this was fruitful, and then we stop from there. Awesome. Glad that I hope you learned one or two things. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is good. This good. Okay, so we can stop here.